set up.
Alright, I'm here with Brett Matthews. First question, as a kid, who are your sporting heroes?
As a kid, my favourite cricketer was a guy called Bruce Laird. He was just a little bloke I think it was World Series cricket where I first saw him. And he was like 5'2", facing up to these big West Indian bowlers, all 6'6", 6'7", and he just took it on the body, and he was brilliant. That and footy. Being a Carlton supporter, there were so many because they were such a great team. Probably Jezza, growing up. Yeah, he was pretty good.
Well, I think you just answered, but was it only cricket and footy that sports you were interested in at a young age?
Other than cricket and footy?
Yeah, is there anything else?
Played a bit of hockey, but cricket and footy
Were the main things?
Yeah.
Can you tell me how your early footy career went and how it progressed through the years?
Footy was good. I started out at Brunswick City, which was across the road from where I lived. Started from under 11s and played right through to under 18s there. It was great. All my mates who I lived nearby with and went to school with won a couple of premierships, and it was just a great feeling around the club. The club wasn't that good, but the juniors were great. We had some fantastic players. Tony Liberatore went on to win a Brownlow medal, and then from there, after that club folded, I went to Keilor Park and played in the premiership there. Kicked 130 odd goals, so that was a good year. At Brunswick City, I won a couple of best and fairest and a couple of comp best and fairest, so they were good. And then finished up at South Bendigo and played there for 4 years till I broke both legs, and that was the end of footy.
Well, because that was the end of footy, is that when cricket came, like a strong...
No. Cricket I played for love, footy I played for money. But the dollars were good for footy, but I didn't really miss footy when it finished, because you end up so sore. But with cricket I played with my mates and I loved it. And the guys I started out with, in the early 80s, some of them are still here, and some of the guys we played with for over 20 years.
Well, was there any massive highlights back then before you came here to Pascoe Vale playing cricket?
Cricket was always good. I started off at a little club called East Essendon, and I was only 8 playing under 12s, and then 9 playing under 14s, and I was the worst player in the team. And I'd bat number 10, number 11 each week, and we got bowled out for 15 one day, and the coach reversed the order. So I ended up opening and making about 25, and never looked back since. So that was always a real highlight. And junior premierships at Brunswick City, we won 3 or 4, and at Brunswick won one premiership and was runners up another year. But I played Hatch Shield, which was a state-run under 14 competition where all the sub-district clubs produced teams. I played for Brunswick, and then under 16s, which was Dowling Shield, I actually played for Essendon and made 160 against Carlton. So that was actually rather depressing, being a Carlton supporter and having to play for that Essendon scum. But hey, them's the breaks.
Well, you're playing for Essendon. When did you start playing for Pascoe Vale, and how was it when you first started here?
I was playing juniors at Brunswick City, and my coach, Peter Turnross, was playing down here. And whenever they were short, they used to get a few of us young kids to come up from Brunswick City to come and fill in and help out. And a few of us stayed. I think I started in December 1983. It was my first game. I was only, 14 at the time, and never looked back since. I did leave for a little while. One season I went to Brunswick and played in the seconds there in sub-district and made a few runs, but even though the first were getting done, they wouldn't promote the young guys, so I thought I'd just come back here and play with my mates and enjoy my time here.
Well, you've played here for so long. What's your main highlights here at Pascoe Vale?
Highlights? Cricket trips. No, we probably can't talk about that one. Just the camaraderie with the guys, playing in a premiership, an A-grade premiership was, success-wise the best thing. But just the guys I played with. When I started, I was the youngest guy And it was like playing with, 10 other fathers out there, because they were all a lot older than me. And they'd always looked after me and treated me well. So it's mainly the blokes around the club.
Well, like you just said, you start from a young age. What's the main difference between playing back then and how it is now?
It's not as hard. Back then we played on mats, so the ball bounced a lot more. There were no helmets. I always thought helmets made better players of guys that weren't that good, because it took the fear away. But for protection, understandably you need it. 8 ball overs when I started here. It was a bit mad back then. But just the standard itself, the standards decreased so much. The A grade competition we were playing in was, really full on mid-80s, and you had guys who were capable of playing district firsts, playing in our competition, and just really strong and really competitive. Whereas now you get 1 or 2 who are fairly decent, and then the rest are pretty much plotters.
I want to go back for a bit. You said you've had health challenges before. How are you going now with it?
Sorry?
You said you've had health challenges in the past. How are you going now?
Yeah, not too bad. It'll never get better, but it's just a day-by-day thing. There are good days and there are bad days, and you just enjoy the good days and make the most of those, and the bad days you just try and get through and hope that the next day is a good day. But it's meant I can't play cricket anymore, which breaks my heart, because I've been here so long, and I've filled every role in the club, and I have a real love for the club, and it's heartbreaking not being able to play. But we might squeeze in one more. My wife won't be very happy with that, but since when has it really mattered what she thought?
I feel like if you get to play one more game, that would be like the world for you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the last game of this year, which actually is my birthday, my 47th birthday, you guys are playing St Francis at St Francis. And I only lived 2 minutes from that ground for over 20 years and love that ground, and have a real affinity with it. So it'd be really nice to finish up there.
Yeah.
Then I can just call it quits.
Come in and score 100.
Sorry?
You come in, just score a quick 100, just
Yeah,
go out on
I
top.
doubt that. I'll be lucky to hit one, and if I get one, it'll be a bonus, I'll tell you.
Well, looking back at your sporting career, you've had a lot of success and quite a few personal challenges, but your love of sport is still strong. If you had the opportunity to talk to the young kids at the club, like we have the under-10s or the juniors,
Sure.
what message would you give them about how to play the game and how to keep going when it gets
just
tough?
cherish every moment, because it can finish so quickly. It's when you're out there, you think that it'll just go on forever, but eventually you have to give it away, or circumstances stop you from playing. So give everything, every game like it's your last. That's probably the best bit of advice I can give.